On his phone. Syracuse.
No, I didn't want to stay awake. I'm surprised you got into that.
What?
That's your seat.
Okay. What is this right here?
Come on, man.
That's all my
I've been
stuff.
sitting here for years.
Playing musical chairs again.
That's my
Yeah, I
floor.
see you trying to get my shirt.
No, I'm just slide over.
Okay.
Hola, oh, you know, pretty. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi.
I like it over here. We had our seating. Oh, I think Amir screwed us
It
up
is.
today.
This meeting is hot.
I'm not moving. I like it here. It's not too hot. I'm not in front of a pole. I sat down by that pole for a year and a half. Where?
It's just
The pole.
do I have to pay for these spaces? Just parking. I go tell him, I park in the road for the same thing. He does the registration. I just think the need to pay it. It doesn't say it.
Okay, folks, we're going to start our study session. Is there any commissioner deeds, city clerk?
No.
Counselor Caldwell.
Thank you, Counselor Hogan. Blessings to all. I have items 9 through 27, and unless there's any questions, I think we're all set. Oh, you have one?
Yeah. Commissioner, just one question under a larger umbrella of items. For the urban forestry items, they all mention the unreserved cash capital, or pardon me, the unallocated cash capital. And I guess my question would be, and potentially Jen Tiff could answer, why are we pulling that from unallocated cash capital rather than something like ARPA funds that we know that we have a deadline and we have to spend down?
Good question, Counselor. I believe we're holding one agenda item.
You talking to me?
Yes.
What item? Where you at? Where you at?
In regards to,
16?
15.
15?
Change the language on it.
Yeah, 15, 16, 17,
10 to 11.
Oh, yeah.
all have
We
the
hold them or we're
the
holding?
cash capital.
Wait, what, 15, the verbiage is,
I thought,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Steve does have plans for the ARPA funding, and we have plans for this as well. Would you like me to get some information back to you on what the plans are for the ARPA funding?
You've got
you
you've
got,
got Director Rudd standing over you.
wait,
I think
before you move, wait 1 second. Now, is 15, is that the one that you said you was gonna hold because the verbiage wasn't correct? That's the one we was going back and forth with on Friday? Yeah, so 15 is gonna be held either way it go.
Yeah, I was under the impression it was being held.
Okay, all right, so you guys can finish. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Yeah, just umbrella and Tim, if you want to field it. Why use unallocated cash capital rather than a different funding source?
Why not ARPA? I guess because we have the ARPA strategy, and then we did the thing in the budget where we increased our revenue loss claim and shifted a bunch of essentially the last to come through projects. So there is a $27 million worth of stuff in our $123 million bucket. So we've already planned to use all the ARPA, and then I think we've proactively through the budget process tried to minimize the risk of leaving anything on the table. So for the moment, I would just think of it as we're using the cash capital that we planned in the capital plan.
Wouldn't it further minimize risk to spend earlier rather than hold on it?
I suppose it would have maximally minimized risk to just do a bigger claim in the budget process, but Jen and everyone else didn't feel that it was needed to do that big of a shift because the projects are going to happen, and that it would be more work switching them at the last minute.
I thought the monies was set aside for that. Am
Yeah.
I wrong?
yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. And
Oh,
you
why
said,
wouldn't we spend down? I guess You could probably say that about a number of projects. Why would we authorize more spending when you haven't spent all the money there? It's because we are going to do that, and we're going to do this, and eventually they will spend it, but we are slow spenders.
So when you said you put 123 million to the side to over there, what do you mean by that?
The ARPA allocation to the city of Syracuse was 123 million, but we've currently authorized more than 123 million, and we know, because we know projects go slow. So that's us trying to ensure that we spend all the money.
And we're on a time limit, too, so.
We have the time limit of the end of the year to encumber things and the end of
We
next year
authorized,
to
but we haven't
spend.
spent though, right? We authorized, but we haven't allocated, right?
We haven't spent
Spent
it
it.
all, for sure. We are trying to spend it and trying to encumber it all. So the end of this year is the deadline to encumber it, the end of next year is the deadline to spend it. And then we've done our own, through the budget process, trying to take the things out that are the most at risk of not being spent. I do think trees is one of the things that we would spend ARPA money. We would move the ARPA money because it's been slow to spend. But I'm sure Steve would be better versed to explain why the tree plan is what it is. But tree spending is not the only thing that's slow.
I mean, it just seems to me like unallocated cash capital is the most valuable money that we have, right? Why not spend from a different place prior to the unallocated cash capital?
So we said we're going to do X with the ARPA funding, and we're going to do Y with the unallocated cash capital. So if we use the ARPA funding for what we were going to do over here, then we're not going to be able to do this. So we're going to do both things, this project using the ARPA funding and this one using unallocated cash capital. So in order to achieve both those things, we need both of those funding sources.
You know, that money is set aside for this.
Right, I mean,
The ARPA
there
money
is a
is set
plan
aside.
for how the
I
ARPA
got
money,
you.
is going to be spent. And so if we move that money to this project, we're not going to be able to finish that project.
So when is the deadline that the ARPA money has to be completed? That's for you.
December 31.
What's,
That's about $2 million of money.
somebody
for this
can
right
answer.
here. It don't even make sense.
Here we go. We got two people coming up there, Councilor Caldwell. One's batting third, one's batting fourth. Oh, look at
Utility.
cleanup hitter right here, so.
Good afternoon, Jen Tift, Director of Strategic Initiatives. ARPA has to be completely allocated or encumbered at the end of this calendar year, so December 2024, and then it has to be completely spent by the end of December 2026. So we have 2 more years to spend it all, but we have to encumber all of it this year.
How much do we have left in ARPA funds?
So we have unencumbered about 15 million.
So the question is, if we encumbered this money and then we got 2 years to spend it, suppose one of those projects we got encumbered doesn't come to fruition, then what do we do?
Yeah, so we're obviously managing it all very closely. As Tim said, we've authorized several $1 million more than the amount we have available to try to get as much of it encumbered as we possibly can. A lot of the projects that are still have unencumbered balances right now are some of our capital projects. So, they're working through the construction season this year to try to get
So Jen,
that money
how far
encumbered.
over are we? How far over allocated are we? So if we have 123 million in the original pot, the total amount of the projects that are allocated out, what's that number?
So I think you all have authorized probably 127, 128.
Okay. So you're assuming that $4 or $5 million of those projects are just not going to come to fruition?
Exactly. Either they don't come to fruition or cost estimates have been lower or, some of the money that we're sub-granting to other agencies, those are reimbursable projects for the most part. So a lot of times they reimburse, they ask for fewer reimbursements.
I know this is like, we're all trying to get to
Yep.
that, but just to put out there, Jen, is there any way that you can give us as of today, updated? I know you gave us a report a couple months ago.
Yep.
Of all of the projects that are going forward,
Yep.
what is going to be moving forward and what's not?
Yeah, I actually have an update that's ready to get sent out, so I'll send it this afternoon. And then if you guys want to have another committee meeting, it has been a couple months, we're happy to do that and kind of talk through the whole list.
You know, our concern is the same as everybody else's. We want to
Oh,
make sure
sure.
every dollar is spent, you know. so-
Oh, yeah, no, we obviously share that
I mean,
objective. That's the
literally, it's
point.
the first time since the 70s that the federal government has invested in this city.
Yeah, it's
To that
amazing.
extent. So,
Yeah, we don't want to leave any penny unspent, that's for sure.
And Jen, kind of bringing us back to
Yeah,
these
to the
items. Yep.
urban forestry.
Under the forestry items, how much is obligated versus spent?
So I believe we have about 500,000 unobligated out of the 2 million as of today. And as a reminder, the ARPA funding for urban forestry has to be spent in ARPA qualified census tracts. So, the thing I don't know from Tony or Steve is, how much of what's on the agenda today is outside of an ARPA qualified census tract. Obviously, those projects wouldn't be, we wouldn't be able to spend the ARPA money on those projects.
well, okay. The genesis of this unallocated cash capital is not ARPA money, or is it ARPA?
Correct. No, this isn't. This is
Okay,
outside
so
of
we're not
ARPA.
talking about ARPA money
Yeah.
here, obviously. So I think what throws us is the unallocated, which means hey,
Right.
we're going to spend it over here.
Right. Yeah.
Right, we're spending cash before we
But
spend.
there's 500,000 that's not, that's ARPA money that's not used. But once you find out if it's inside the census tract or not, we can know
Yeah.
whether they can spend it or not, right? It's
I think we
70%.
can get everyone an kind of an updated list of exactly what these funds are going to be used for, and then I know Steve has a plan for what the ARPA funds will be used for urban forestry. So, generally speaking, right, his urban forestry plan is bigger than the $2 million of ARPA allocated. So I think it's, as Corey was saying earlier, we need both funding streams to meet his urban forestry plan.
Okay. Commissioner, or Councilor Caldwell, you okay?
I'm okay.
You okay, Counselor Williams?
This one.
Okay.
So we're holding 15,
Yeah.
and all other items, you're good, Court? We're all set.
16, 17.
Oh, no, the deer intake thing there is gonna be held.
Yeah, 10 and 11 also will be held.
Okay, so
10, 11, and 15. Got it? October 10, 11, and 15 will be on hold.
Okay.
12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and 18 through 27 are all
Good,
good.
okay,
Thank you, we're good.
okay.
Thank you.
Councilor Majuk.
Thank you. I have item 28 through 34. Item 34 will be held, waiting for more officers to come here, as well as get Chief to also get ready, as well as the family members. So we're going to hold that.
What number?
34.
we're gonna hold it?
34, we're going to hold it.
Okay.
Okay? Otherwise, without any other question, all my items are ready.
Good job, Councilor Majuk. You're welcome. Councilor Paniagua.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have items 35 to 40, and they are all ready, unless there's any questions. Hearing none, we're set.
Okay. Councilor Gathers.
Thank you, President Pro Temp. I have items 41 through 53. I believe they're all ready now, unless there's any further questions.
Counselor, 42, 43, I want, if, you're okay with it, to hold until we have the whole meeting in the parking garage, which we're trying to schedule with
Yeah.
the administration.
Okay.
I know, Councilor Williams, I know you want to hold these, but let's try to get that meeting scheduled as
Yeah,
soon as
we're-
possible with the administration on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Councilor.
All right. So you have
You all
42,
set?
43, 42, we're going to hold.
Councilor Gathers?
All set.
Why don't you take 54 and 55, Councilor Gathers?
All right, 54 and 55, those are ready, and they're all set, unless you have any other questions.
I will take with Councilor Manto. Come on, Councilor Manto, you want to present this, 56?
Thanks, Councilor Hogan. Yeah, 56 is ready. You're good with it?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Everybody else? Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, this is co-sponsored by myself and Councilor Jones-Rouser. 57 is ready, 58 will be held. then I will go withdrawn, 59 is withdrawn, correct? Yes. Okay. 60 through, 71. Unless there's any questions, these are all ready. Okay. Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Councilor Hogan. I've got items 72 through 80, 72 through 6, and 80 are ready. 77 through 79 will be discussed in executive session.
I have a question. Anybody from here from the water department? Nobody? Well, but maybe Corey can help me on this question. Just a quick question. There's a project going on in the city where they're going and checking pipes. What's that all about?
So there is it's a lead service replacement project that's being funded through the federal infrastructure bill. So they're replacing the pump stations at Brookford and Guilford and Westminster. And so we've had a number of public meetings. We had one at Nottingham, so they are identifying where lead services exist and then replacing that. So everything that generally it's, what from the street to the house is usually on the private property owner, but through this funding, we're able to replace if you have a lead service, a water lead service, we're able to replace it to where it meets your house.
So what about if there's trees that are in a way incumbents that have been seeing that?
Yeah, so there are a couple different ways that the contractor would be able to do the testing and do the replacement. Some of it is, some of it requires less disturbance than others. And I know the water department has been, taking photos and working with the contractor to try and minimize the disruption to property owners. But it is possible that, a sidewalk would be disturbed or a tree would be disturbed, but the contractor, through our agreement with them, is obligated to restore what is disrupted as part of the replacement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
And the clerk reminded me there were some issues related to item 72 that we were going to discuss in executive session.
Joe can talk about them at the meeting.
We're going to have a whole staff of lawyers in that executive session, aren't we, Joe? Yeah. So we're okay with 80. Councilor Jones-Rouser.
Thank you, Pro Tem. I have items 81 through 106. 81 through 83 are moving forward. 84 and 85 is being held until committee meeting. And 86, 87 is moving, 88, 89, 90s moving. I don't know if we have any updates on the properties that were being held.
So no, Kimon Jordan, Director of Housing and Neighborhood Planning. No new updates. Properties, items 105 and 106, so property at 105 Mark Ave and 3001 Burnett Ave, they are confirmed to be vacant. We're still working with codes to check if 105 Mark Ave has any squatters.
Who confirmed that?
I said I'm still working with code enforcement to confirm if there are squatters.
Oh, okay. Yep, okay. So, so 91, 92, 93, we pulled, correct?
So we withdrew 91, 92, 94, and 103. Those are withdrawn.
91, 92, 94.
Yeah, 91, 92, 93 is withdrawn.
93 was held, or are you going to withdraw it?
So 91 is withdrawn, 92 is withdrawn, 93 is held, 94 is withdrawn, 101 is held, 103 is withdrawn, and 105 and 106 are being held.
But from last week.
But
Something different.
Hold on one
Unless you're gonna
second.
do something different.
Hold on. 104 Ostrander, who's that? Well, hold on a minute.
104 Ostrander, item number 93.
401.
Oh, yeah, 401 West Ostrander. So we haven't had any contact with the owner. They haven't submitted a tax trust
Oh, that's
application.
not in the batch of Okay. All right.
Counselor
we all
Counselor
set?
Jones, rather, 106, I've confirmed that it's vacant. That's okay.
Okay, 106.
So we're gonna move that.
Yeah, we can move 106.
Okay.
Over, you got them all?
Oh, we'll have fun up there doing that.
Mark it up for you.
I think it's
You should
got,
be working
I
from your
got,
agenda
okay,
anyway.
I got, withdrawn 91, 92, 94. I got held, or in 109. I got held 93, 101, 105, and 106.
106 is moving.
We're moving.
106 is moving.
You should be working from your agenda anyway. but-
Yeah, well, I'm back to where I was in the beginning, in the study session. Okay, so that's what we went over in the study session originally. Okay, so is everybody, any other
No,
questions?
I got waiver items in the back. If she's all set.
Yeah, we have to do a motion.
Not yet.
What?
I got waiver items.
Oh, that's right.
Are you all set, Councilor
Yeah,
Jones?
yes.
All right. Thank you, President Pro Temp. I have waiver items 107 through 110. I'd like, Court, if you'd like to come up and discuss those. Just give us a brief.
Just walk through, okay.
yeah.
So 107 is the legislation to, that homeowners may request a second cart for trash collection, not crash collection. Sorry, right? Does anybody else see that? That's okay. The short title says crash collection. That's okay. It feels like it sometimes. So at a one-time cost not to
I get
exceed
you.
$75. The number 108 and 109 are related. That is the bond authorization to purchase the recycling carts. And then 110 is the purchasing for public education outreach so we can begin engaging residents to let them know what will be coming down the line with recycling. Any questions?
Any questions here, and then I'll be all set. Thank you.
Thank you, councilors.
Okay, I want a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Councilor Gathers, thanks for